This morning I'm on my way to the session on AI and how that's going to impact accounting. I've got a definite keen interest in this area. And then this afternoon, the focus is going to be on education and creativity. So hopefully lots more good interviews today, but enjoy. Here with Tim Austin from the Australian Auditing Standards Board. Tim, tell us about what you do at the AUASB.
Thanks, Amanda. So what I do at the AUASB is I am a project manager, so I work across a range of different topic areas. So at the moment what I'm working on is looking at ISO 220, so a new standard coming through from the international level. Also working on something very interesting, the use of technology and how it impacts how we audit.
Definitely a big area, because we know we've talked in this morning's plenary, we talked about drones, counting inventory, and the use of AI potentially in auditing documentation and analysing contracts, especially with leasing. So I don't know if many companies are really up to date.
What we're hearing is that the marketing's ahead of where everybody actually is at. So all these sort of sessions talking about a lot of new things coming out, what we're seeing is maybe not where it is at the moment. But what we're trying to do is look at, are there any areas in the standards, as standard setters, that we can change that is blocking sort of innovation in the audit space? So,
and I guess that's the thing that probably a lot of auditors talk to me about is, well, how does the auditing standard handle something like using drones?
Exactly.
So then, you need to go back to 500, and they always say it's always about going back to the standards. Now, Tim, did you start how did you develop your career to get to the AUASB?
So my career is probably a little bit different to a lot of the other guys that work at the Standards Board. So a lot of the other people started in a technical department and made the transition across. So I'm actually an ex-auditor, so I worked for 5 years at Pitcher Partners, so a medium or mid-tier firm in Melbourne. So pretty much plying my trade as a grunt. So moving from graduate through to
document checking.
All the document checking, but I wouldn't change, although I did it for 5 years and I have moved out of it, I wouldn't change it for the world.
I think understanding, and I did my cadetship at PwC, or Coopers and Lybrand now, which is now PwC.
Yeah.
And I think that background in understanding the coalface of making these decisions and trying to enact the standards, I think will really goes a long way, because quite often people tell me, but the technical staff at my firm will say this, but maybe they don't understand the realities of doing it.
Understanding the realities of what our clients do and what the businesses do is really important. And it sort of gave me a bit of a jump start to a lot of my friends who worked in other areas. The fact that you're 25 or perhaps younger.
Baby.
Very much so. But being in that audit space, that you understand transactions, you understand how the business works, and you're being asked for your opinion on different things. So as someone that's quite so junior, I guess, in terms of age, your opinion's well respected because you understand businesses. You've worked on 10 different clients over the year, you understand them
and
in
the
depth.
Technical aspects of the standards.
And the technical aspects of the standards. So really the standards drive you to do that thinking. So in particular 315, all about understanding the entity, all about understanding flows of transactions, identifying risks and getting your judgments right.
And the sufficiency question is always the one students ask me, how much is enough? And I always say that, I always refer back to the Michael Jackson song where he says, don't stop till you get enough. And I'm sure he wasn't talking about auditing. I always like to think that he is. But it's that professional judgment that makes auditing, I think, one of those areas that blockchain is not going to be the death of us.
No, it's not.
We're still going to need to make those professional judgments.
And it'll make, as technology changes, it'll make those judgments more important. And what we'll see is that there's more time for the auditors coming through to make those judgments. So what we're seeing in a lot of firms are developing tools that will help visualize data. So you may not necessarily have to look through all those transactions you used to. What it'll do is it'll highlight areas of interest. But then you still need to go through and do that judgment yourself.
Yeah.
It won't be the death of auditors.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Matt.
Matt's over there.
Matt's over there. I'm looking at his badge. Well, thanks, Tim, for talking to us. And next up, we're going to meet Anna from the AUASB.
Thank you very much, Amanda.
I promised you Anna Wu from the Australian Auditing Standards Board, and here she is. So, Anna, tell me about your career path from university to the AUASB.
Okay, so my career path is pretty peculiar. So I started from a startup business. So so I found a really small business back in China when I was around 18-ish, 19-ish.
Wow.
That was quite a journey. I kind of enjoyed that. Met some really good people and had some fun. And afterwards, I sold my company to pay for tuition here. And that's how I ended up in Melbourne Uni to do my Master's of Accounting and Finance. Enjoyed it. Every minute was very fun and also very constructive as well. So afterwards, during one of our business practicum, I met those guys from the AUASB.
Those guys.
AUASB.
The AUASB team is sitting behind the camera.
Yeah,
so they're not
to give me comfort. So I met them and I loved to work with them. So by the end of the business practicum, pretty much we enter into this concept that we are going to take the work further. So that's how I got the graduate intern position.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so what do you think is the most exciting thing about working in standard setting?
Pretty much standard setting itself. So before that, I have to be honest, like every one of the uni students, I don't really understand a lot about standard setting. All I know is those peculiar codes on the slides that says which standard it is. However, it's just...
A student should read those. So when you see the code for AU, ASA, AASB, you should go read your standard.
Yeah. Not really the whole standard. That would be too much to read.
Read the whole standard.
Not everyone is you though. So for me, I would recommend if you really want to get to know what the standard is and try to know the context, maybe you can figure out in terms of which standard are more overarching and providing the big picture. For example, like the 200 and 330, 315 and 500, 540, something like that.
See, all the things that I'm telling you guys out there, Anna's telling you too. So what do you do every day at the AUASB?
So pretty much I cross different projects and topics for me to gain a good insight, and also is for me to assist the other project managers and senior project managers to do the prep work, to do all the research. Recently, I've been doing a lot of research on climate change, and the result is pretty fascinating. And I also
sustainability reporting and integrated reporting is definitely, I think, coming to the mainstream.
Yeah, it is coming,
and that importance, especially as we're facing down, warming of the planet, and the recent UN report that came out that said we need to keep climate change to a certain level. Is going to become even more important. We start integrating all of this information, and our skills as auditors in collecting evidence and making judgments.
Yes,
we can use in multiple different areas.
Yep, of course.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Well, I want to thank Anna for having a chat to me, and we're off to see some other stuff at the conference. Bye. So I'm here with Sam Cheng, and Sam, I believe you're the incoming president.
The incoming chairman for the CANZ Hong Kong chapter.
Fantastic. Sam and I worked together about, 20 years ago. Makes me feel a bit old. We started at Coopers and Lybrand together. So Sam, did you do your accounting studies overseas, or did you do them here in Australia?
I did it here with Coopers and Lybrand, and it's been a nice journey since then.
So you were here at Coopers. Did you stay for the merger?
I was actually part of the integration team.
Oh, there you go. So Sam was part of and then when did you move to Hong Kong?
I moved there 2001. I started work there the day before 911, which is a sad thing to remember.
Okay.
But that's how I remember it.
And so did you work in public accounting, or were you with firms?
I've left public practice since I left PwC, and it's been in commercial since then. But it's a calling, and now I'm back in the public practice. I'm with EY now.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
Fantastic.
back in the management consulting world.
And so, what would you recommend for students who are looking to get into accounting and public practice in Hong Kong? What would you recommend to them?
Be open and try everything. I think the experience of looking at different corporates really counts in terms of building up yourself, in terms of your point of views and the way you see things. I think the CA program or the CPA program give you the foundation, but really looking into the world in practice, it's really the really learning process in terms of managing this from a business point of view, not just from a finance point of view.
And are there any specific skills that you think students need to have in, I guess, the new age of technology and artificial intelligence that you'd say get onto now?
Absolutely. I think the analytics side, it's and the efficiency side, process side is where we as accountants can contribute a lot. I think we as an industry can do a lot more in terms of looking at how the technology can contribute to our work, for sure.
Fantastic. Well, Sam's only here for 2 days, so you've flown in from Hong Kong for 2 days.
Yep.
Then you're flying back home to see the family.
I still have the weekend.
Oh, you still have the
have Saturday, only because I couldn't get a ticket to fly out on Friday. But the domestic duty calls, unfortunately. So I fly out Saturday night and be back at work pretty much the 2 days after.
I've not seen my kids very often over the whole WCOA. So they've been like, "Where are you, Mum?" I'm like, "I'm here." So the life of accountant is interesting, varied, and one we hope lots of students in Hong Kong get into. So thanks, Sam, and enjoy WCOA.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. I'm with Steve. Oh, I'm going to try and...
Swentzelski. Come on, let's go.
Swentzelski.
That's it, you got it.
From SEMA.
Yeah.
So tell us about what SEMA does.
Yeah, SEMA is the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. We're a body which promotes management accounting. So we're interested in developing the business inside the business. We're auditing, check what the business has done. Mm-hmm. So we drive value. We're auditors, check value.
Oh, Ben!
That's good. This is what we do. That's what we do.
I actually started out
go on.
teaching management accounting. So
Yeah.
I was an auditor.
Yeah.
I started teaching management accounting, cost, volume, profit analysis, budgeting, all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff before moving into teaching audit.
Yeah.
So how can people become a member of SEMA if they're interested? What's the process?
Well, you can. We've got local presence in Australia and New Zealand, so it's about getting into. I'll introduce you something in a minute. What's she called here? Nicole.
Oh, I know Nicole.
Nicole. Oh, she's not coming. We'll drag her later. We'll get her at the end.
So, do students join as students, like at university, or is it something they do as a post-qualification?
It's flexible. I mean, some people go to university and then go to take the qualification. Most of our members in Australia and New Zealand are expats who come over here. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to build our presence of students coming in. So I was talking to the health authority here, where we've got 2,000 accountants. So I was talking to them about the future of finance.
Fantastic.
So tell them what we do. Yeah.
Fantastic. Management accounting, is so important because it's that internal decision making, good internal controls, performance measurement, performance management systems.
Yeah.
All of that. And when people think of management accounting, often they think it's very narrow, but it's actually quite a broad area.
Yeah, you find a lot of business leaders actually. You'll find them certainly in the United Kingdom and elsewhere in the world. Start off with as a management accountant because they understand the business and the whole complexity of business. They end up as chief executive officers, managing directors. So a lot of our professional accountants don't stay as professional accountants towards the end of the career. they'll move off and
Gives
do
you those
bigger
skills
things.
to move into
Yeah, big
business
stuff.
management.
Big time.
Fantastic. Well, excellent. Thanks very much, Steve. I hope, Steve, you enjoy your WCOA. And I'll leave some details and links to SEMA in the description of the video.
Good afternoon, exhibitors.
I'm here with Eric, who is El Presidente. Are you president?
Yep,
El
president.
Presidente of CPA.com. So, Eric, tell us about what CPA.com actually does.
Well, first, Amanda, it's great to be here with you. And what CPA.com is all about is helping the profession, leverage all of the incredible capabilities that are available due to the technology revolution that we're living in. And we do that through three ways. One, we put solutions in place for the firms. Two, we do a lot of ecosystem leadership, work with all the technology companies and really understand what they're doing. And we also share with them, some of the best practices that we're putting in place with the firms. And finally, we do some, research.
So the dynamic audit solution is a really interesting thing, and I've read a little bit about it online, but can you tell me what's happening and why CPA.com has gone this way to bring industry and the profession together?
Well, at CPA.com and at the AICPA, we've been thinking a lot about auditing in the future. And when you think about auditing in the future, there's four key areas. There's what's the technology platform, what's the future methodology, where the standard's going, and what's the talent strategy. And after a lot of due diligence, a lot of discussions with firms, thought leaders, and companies, we decided to really advance the category and advance where it's going. We determined that we wanted to put a solution in place. And this solution is based on two primary drivers. One, we're going to evolve the technology capabilities, and two, we're going to build a transformative methodology.
This is amazing. I'm really interested in this because audit has been audit for a very long time, and we've, I guess, paved the cow paths.
That's right.
Probably the best way to describe it. We've taken what we've already done manually and then put it into technology. But this idea of rethinking methodology, I think, is really, really exciting. And I know that obviously you have the big four firms with their own leadership.
That's right.
But there's a swathe of other firms that need support, and often with technology they feel out of depth.
Well, you made a lot of good points there, and when we thought about this project, you could not just advance the technology without changing the methodology. And to build the future methodology, you have to do that hand in glove with the technology platform. You're not just going to build new guides and put them up on the shelf. You need to author them into the platform.
And so tell me about what you think you're going to take away from being here at WCOA.
Well, it's just so important here. It's so important to be on the world stage. And actually, we've been talking about the dynamic audit solution. And actually, 4 years ago in Rome, we noticed that there was a lot of technology innovation going on in the audit space. And we were aware of the Big Four discussions, and there was also technology innovation going on back in the US. So you're always learning. And we learn by coming to WCOA, we learn by talking to thought leaders like yourself, to the technology companies, and absolutely all of the association and the members.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for taking time out of your really busy schedule. I've been trying to catch Eric for a couple of days now, and we keep missing each other. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your WCOA.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here, Amanda. Thanks for the time. Bye-bye.
The best stories are stories that emerge from you. The best stories the greatest stories that come from you are the stories that you feel passionate about.
I'm here with Professor Jason Potts, and if you don't follow him on Twitter, you should, because he's RMIT's blockchain expert, and he's one of the few people that's saying the sky isn't falling, and that blockchain isn't going to be the death of accounting and auditing. Why is that so?
No, I think, Amanda, this is super excited about the future for accounting in this space. Not just accounting, but all professional services, including law and fraud and investigations and so on. And the reason is if we can digitize a whole lot more of the economy, that means we can bring professional services to a whole lot more of the economy. So just the growth of digital assets and the ability to have this sort of thing is the main sort of thing I think is going on here. The other one is platforms, right? So what blockchain technology enables is essentially multiple firms to share the same database. Now that's interesting, but what it means then is that we can have basically supply chains moving can become far more efficient, or just complex production processes that involve multiple firms can be organized and coordinated and audited and so on in a far more efficient way.
Information transfer.
You're not. So, and you trust the information that's there. This is a huge productivity improvement in this technology.
But how important is it going to be to have good control systems around the input of that data?
Yeah, so that's going to be the thing we're going to have to get good at. But we've already got that problem already.
Yes.
So now we've just got to do it across multiple firms. Now. In many ways, this is where I see the role of organizations like the CPA or just other sort of organizations that sit at a high level in the industry to try and coordinate standards in this space. And I think this is a real problem. How do we coordinate on this thing? But we've got institutions already to do this, so we need to start making use of them.
COSO and those sorts of things for internal control framework. So this is still a bright time if you're interested in becoming an accountant, coming into the accounting and finance industry. So if you're a student and you're thinking about coming into IT, into finance, into accounting, do you need to be a programmer?
You don't need to be a programmer, but you need to be able to understand what they do. Right? So I think this is one of these things. You do an undergrad course in computer science, or most people in this space are self-taught. So this is you learn a bit of Python, you learn the logic of it. You don't necessarily need to build it yourself, and that would be a mistake. You want to partner with programmers, but in order to partner with them, you've got to learn a little bit about what they're doing. And it's the same in vice versa. That if I'm advising computer science people, I say learn a bit of law, learn a bit of accounting, learn a bit of these other professions.
Being multidisciplinary.
Yeah. But because we need to form teams to build this new platform technology, everyone needs to specialize in this. But the idea of just be an accountant and just learn accounting and ignore technology is just ridiculous advice. The technology, this is probably the most profound technological shift in the services. And again, not just accounting, but broadly the professional services. And super exciting time to be at the head of this game, right? This is a competitive advantage you can get.
And we're, as accountants, we're experts in internal controls and processes, so we need to just get ourselves in there and get in the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other sort of thing that seems to be true here is that the profession will become a lot more of a design profession. You'll be designing systems and designing.
So we're going to be
we'll be a lot more creative, right?
So exciting.
a lot less sitting behind and just checking up on other people's work, and actually building the new infrastructure, and particularly building bespoke infrastructure for particular purposes that is essentially digital objects that can be sold. So possibly a lot more accounting work will actually come from IP revenue and other sorts of income from creating these new processes that are now fully digitized and so on. So super exciting time to be an accountant.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank Jason for taking some time out to speak to me. He's been really busy all day today, and it's a fly-in, fly-out visit for him to WCOA. But thank you very much.
My pleasure, Amanda.
And I'll make sure I leave his details so that you can follow him on Twitter.
Yes.
That pretty much wraps up, I don't even know what day I'm on, day 3. I just got to go to a private reception that was held by CA and CPA with the amazing Sir Ken Robinson. He talked a lot about how we can change education, how we need to make sure that we foster creativity and curiosity from a young age right into adulthood if we're going to make sure that we're going to be successful in the future. I'm off to the gala dinner now. It has been a fantastic third day. It was amazing to meet Sir Ken. I really look forward to seeing him at the EduTech conference here in Sydney next year. And if you haven't read any of his books or you haven't seen his TED Talk, I'll make sure I put it in the links in the description. His TED Talk is amazing, life-changing. It's how I really got into YouTube, really. I was teaching at university, but I loved making YouTube content, and the reason that I make YouTube content is to help the people out there. I don't get paid for it, but the thanks and the help of everybody that's out there is just amazing. The feedback I get from you guys. So thank you so much for making this happen for me, all of my loyal viewers, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.